So with the traditional bird dog, what we usually find is that we have an extension going on. We have flexion of the shoulder, and we have extension of the opposing or the contralateral limb. So when the arm extends out to the, so flexes out to the top, we have extension at the hip. Now, this is it's good for core stability in a sense, but what it isn't doing is it isn't creating functional patterns that we use from a day-to-day basis. And one of these things is actually how we stabilize the SI joint. So a joint that's very, very susceptible to laxicity and sprains when people have bilateral imbalances and then lift really heavy. So what you want to do with this one is the first thing that I'm doing is I'm shifting the weight onto my left knee here and taking my right knee slightly off the floor while taking my left hand off the floor. So left hand off, right knee off. I'm focusing on creating an element of intra-abdominal pressure in my midsection, so I want to make sure that I've engaged my midriff. I'm not getting any loading in the lower back, so I've tucked my hips appropriately so I can't feel my lower back work. Then the main thing I want to do here is go into a tuck where I'm bringing my elbow in towards my spine and I'm engaging my lats, so I should feel my lats contract now. So this is where you're imagining doing some form of row where you're getting compression of the spine around the lat region. Then what you do is you want to really focus on how that lat feels and take your arm out in front of you here. So you don't want to lose the engagement of the spine. You don't want to lose the sensation that this lat is working, but then you're going to flex your arm out in front of you. Once into this position here, we're going to bring the elbow in towards the midline of the body whilst contracting the contralateral, so the opposite glute. Now, this is extension of the shoulder joint and extension of the hip joint, which is going to cause compression around the spine, which is what we want because it stabilizes the spine from the lumbars and the mid-back and the SI joint. So this is why it's a very, very good one for teaching your body how to compress and stabilize the area which probably is weak. What you want to do is then very slowly breathe in and go into flexion, and that's just flexion in the spine as well. So there's nothing wrong with going into a slight bit of spinal flexion. Bring your knee up to your chest, taking a deep breath in through your nose and bringing your arm out for as much as you can until it feels a little bit tight. So you don't want to go all the way up to this position. You can just take it out to there. We're breathing in and then you're going to breathe out. And as you're going into extension at the shoulder and in the glute, you can go into a little bit of lumbar extension as well. And that is a compression movement where we're breathing out in that. Now, when we get to the top of the movement, so we get right to the top here, you can then slightly rotate this shoulder towards this glute. So there's a little bit of spinal rotation as well. So we're locking the joint. And then as we're breathing in, we're unlocking the joint and we're teaching it how to move. So it's a very, very efficient one for teaching us how to stabilize that contralateral posterior sling.